and welcome to my channel, Sweeter Lifestyle. Today, as you can see, we are in the great outdoors. Well, that was the plan, but we couldn't use that footage, so here I am inside again. But let me say this one more time. Hi, and welcome to my channel, Sweeter Lifestyle. Today, I am going to mention two more laws of health: sunshine and air, more specifically oxygen. This is not an exhaustive explanation of these laws, but rather an extremely brief overview as I am looking at these two principles more or less as they relate to me in particular. Sunshine is beneficial in so many ways. It's antimicrobial, it boosts one's immunity through vitamin D, which also helps to strengthen the bones. Now, I need vitamin D fortified foods in my diet, and I also need vitamin D supplements. As a black woman, sunshine alone is not my best option to get vitamin D, as the melanin in my skin can inhibit the production of vitamin D. Anyway, being out in sunshine, like in the early morning or the late afternoon, is a fantastic mood enhancer. There's something about being out in the sun that gives me that bit of an oomph to face life, which is another way that sunshine affects my health. So, on to oxygen. Every tissue and every cell in the body needs a constant supply of oxygen to work properly. Without oxygen, my body would fail, I'll become delirious, and in the worst case scenario, I would die. I'm thinking this would be a good time to talk about the elephant in the room, which is, why am I using supplemental oxygen? For this, I need to go way back. As my body was developing in my mom's womb, 3 of my spinal vertebrae were not shaped correctly. As I grew, this was a weak link which led me to develop kyphoscoliosis, which is a severe curvature of the spine. I also had a heart murmur, and the prognosis for that was that I'd die before reaching the end of my childhood. I lived beyond childhood. I also had severe asthma, which was managed with a hot linseed poultice to the chest. I can still remember what that feels like. I absolutely hated it. But back to scoliosis. At about the age of 12, in the holiday season just before the beginning of the new school year in September, I was at home with a friend and I tried to get up to walk and I couldn't. No warning, it was that quick. I was paraplegic, which means I had no feelings from the waist down. It was a traumatic time for a 12-year-old just about to enter high school. The diagnosis from the doctors was nothing. They knew it must be because of my kyphoscoliosis. They had lots of theories, but no explanation. They didn't know what had happened to me. Actually, though, there was a prognosis, a bit of deja vu, because they said my body would probably atrophy and I'd die. I was able to walk after 10 months of being paraplegic. Later on, I had several surgeries on my spine between the ages of 14 and 21. 2 times I also had a procedure whereby they stretched my spine before a couple of those surgeries. So let's fast forward. I have a very supportive and loving husband, and we have 2 very wonderful kids, adults. Just after I had our second child, though, it was discovered that my heart muscle was dying. In the end, I have lost 1/4 of my heart muscle. The doctors, although here in Canada, weren't sure that I could even get better. They feared that I would, yeah, you got it, die. There was a talk of a heart transplant, etc. I'm jumping over stuff. Then in 2015, my husband, kids, and I all traveled together to my husband and my homeland, which is Trinidad. It was a birthday present of sorts, but within 2 months of our return to Canada, I had an ambulance ride to the hospital. Long story short, I would now have to use this supplemental oxygen 24/7, 365. So here I am. My kyphoscoliosis, it had been discovered, had caused my body to bend some more, encroaching on my lungs, so my lungs could no longer expand the way they needed to, and therefore I wasn't able to take in the amount of oxygen that my body actually needs. So going back to the 8 laws of health, you know, having sunshine is good for you for all those other reasons, and having oxygen is extremely important. Now the interesting thing for me is this: when I'm out in the outdoors, especially in a place where there's a lot of trees and the air is not polluted by, you know, factories or whatever, I have actually tried to take my oxygen off and it has been fine. Now, I don't actually know when my oxygen levels are low. They call that being unsaturated. I need to use a little device called an oximeter. When I put my finger in there, it measures the amount of oxygen in my blood. And so, when I did that out in the great outdoors once, I realized that I was at the higher level, the level that I would be at if I had my supplemental oxygen on, as when I did not. That was amazing to me. So I realized that, you know, these 8 laws of health are really good. We need to get out there in the air, fresh, good air, and also we need sunshine. To recap, I need sunlight to boost my mood and to get some vitamin D. However, as I had said before, as a black woman, I need to up my vitamin D intake and of course the oxygen. Oxygen is needed literally for me to live, and the better the air quality, the easier or better. I'm not sure exactly how to say this, but it is better for my body to obtain and manage the oxygen that I need. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. It's a little different one, and I hope to see you next time.